Hey again, everybody. Rob Cushing from the Better Claim music blog, which you could read at www.thebetterclaim.com. Okay. Shooting another video here, still talking about running your band as a business. If you find this of value, please reach out to me. I have my contact info at the bottom of the description. Share the video, subscribe to my channel. Would love to hear more from you. Okay. Definitely if this has helped you in one way or another. Okay, so last time we talked about doing tax deductions and tax write-offs. Okay. Now, one of the things I mentioned too is that make sure you're a legitimate business. It's really in your best interest for tax reasons. So I get a lot of questions on that. Well, what's really a legitimate business? Okay. Now, before I get into this again, same deal, same disclaimer. I'm not a certified tax professional. You should always consult one. I'm only talking about what may be possible. I'm only talking about the United States. Even then, some of the taxes are going to vary state by state. Okay, and again, consult your tax professional. This is just potentially what you're able to do here. Okay, so now that we've covered that, let's explore this. There's a few different entities that you could log your business as. Okay, first one is called a sole proprietorship. Okay, particularly if like it's a business entity, it's just owned and controlled solely by one person. Okay, so if you're a solo act, or if you are your own business, say if you just run a recording studio, or if you're a solo act or whatever, if you haven't formed or incorporated like under an LLC, which we'll get into in a little bit, you're going to find yourself as a sole proprietorship. Okay. The only reason you wouldn't is if it was just used like there was a partner in your music business, which if you're doing that as a sole proprietorship, it's not that often. Okay. Like I said, you can see recording studio owners, you can see solo artists, managers, booking agents, some publishers in this category as well. Though the smart ones are really doing the LLC. Get to that in a sec. Not really anything necessarily that you need to do to initiate with the IRS as a business, except actually be out doing it. The IRS isn't going to see a distinction between the actual person running the business and the business itself. So it's kind of a double-edged blade. Okay. It basically means that any and all tax. Okay, so on the easy side, you don't have to do anything except be out there doing your business. Okay, and you're automatically sole proprietorship. Okay. However, it means that like any and all taxes applied to the sole proprietorship, i.e., your business, are going to be applied to that specific person at a personal tax rate, not a corporate or business tax rate, a personal tax rate. Okay, so while this does give you like some ultimate control, the downside, guys, is that any taxes that are owed by the sole proprietorship are owed by that person alone. So yeah, I'm just giving an example. Okay, not that this will happen, but if you have a lawsuit filed against the sole proprietorship, that means that the owner, i.e., you, are personally liable in those suits. Okay, so theoretically, it would mean that if it was a big enough lawsuit, like any and all of your personal equity, including like your music equipment and even like your house if you own it, that can be made forfeit. Okay, so bottom line, you can, with the sole proprietorship, you can get complete and creative control and kind of reap those benefits, but you're also solely liable for any and all charges and suits. Now, let's talk about the next one, which is called a partnership. Now, in this instance, this is a business entity that's owned and operated by more than one person. So if you're a duo, if you're a band, if you're a music business with more than one owner, or a traditional business with more than one owner, and you have an incorporated start as an LLC, then the IRS is going to view you as a partnership. Okay? Now, in this situation, you might actually believe that you're actually in some other type of business, like you might see DBA, which stands for like doing business as. That's not really business type, it's just more of a designator, like for naming purposes. The truth of the matter is that the IRS doesn't see it differently. Okay, same deal with the sole proprietorship. Okay, doing business as your band, if you're legitimate and out there doing it, it makes you a partnership. Okay, all the owners in the partnership, all the members in the band, for instance, they're legally bound to the form of a business as partners. I think the only exception is like the state of Louisiana. Again, consult a tax professional, but I think the only exception is like state-wise is like Louisiana, and I think they view the individual members in a partnership as individuals. So anyway, talk to the tax guys on this, okay? So anyway, the partnership, this form of business, it offers a little bit more protection and accountability than a sole proprietorship, but this, again, can also be a double-edged blade, okay? So let's give you an example. Say your singer goes out and finances a lighting system for live performances, okay? So if he does that through the partnership as the band, okay, all the members in the band are evaluated for that purchase based on their financials. So if your bassist has that credit, then he's put up against that potential financing purchase of the lighting system. See what I'm saying? Okay. So by the same token, if the band reneges on payments, okay, so if you're behind in payments or whatever, or you default on a loan, what have you, if one of your band members does it and you've done it as a partnership for the band, all the members in that band or that partnership, you're held liable for the default of the loan. So basically all partners, for the most part, are in a partnership equally. So unless you specifically take steps to you either incorporate files in LLC or you have a notarized written agreement for the partnership ahead of time, IRS is going to view you guys all equally. Okay. Keep in mind also that, like, if you have the band as a partnership or your music business, traditional business, one of those people leaves, there's legal obligations that might arise from having to, like restructure partnership agreements, liability, etc. So, bottom line, the partnership's under the strict control of the partners, okay, and is also liable from the actions or any of all of its members, okay. So, just be wary of that, okay. All right, let's get into the next one. This is known as a corporation. Now, cue the funny joke, corporations are people too, yada yada, okay. Anyway, corporations are a little bit of a tricky animal, and it can be a monster to create, but they're well worth it for the protection it offers. But this usually requires taking some action, either through like an online entity like LegalZoom.com, or sometimes through your state, and sometimes your state is going to require you to go strictly through that. Basically, what becomes a corporation means is that a person or persons can make themselves legally separate from the corporation. So basically saying that the owners are not personally liable for any debts to the corporation, but rather the value of your corporation arises from its stock, and therefore that's where any liability hits. So there's particular exceptions to this rule, again, by state, okay? There's also special tax considerations if you're operating as a corporation, and generally with some exceptions, it's the corporation that is taxed like individuals are. I mean, like music businesses, like if you're a label, publishing company, big studio, that type of thing, you might choose to take this route. It's rare that you actually see a band as a corporation unless the artist actually creates one for like touring purposes. Okay, it's something you'll see often in that, like if a band is out on tour and you have a touring corporation, then that band can't be held personally liable, like in the event of like a vehicular accident or while you're on the road, or if a roadie's hurt while setting up a show. So if a corporation, you're protected. All right. Another example would be like the event of, like, say, a music publisher who's sued by someone else on infringement of copyright. For example, they can't be held personally liable if they're incorporated. Okay. There's different types of corporations. I'm not going to get into it here. You should really talk with a tax professional about it, or an attorney. There's all sorts of different types of corporations you can set up as. They all have their initial and recurring costs. These vary. Different levels of taxation, protection. Actually, your best bet when it's an attorney, you want to try to work with an entertainment lawyer on getting it set up if you want to go down that path. Okay. So let's get down to the last of the four, and this is what's known. And you see this a lot too. What's known as a limited liability company, or LLC. Okay. And personally, I think this is your best bet if you want to be able to have the best of both worlds. So you can incorporate while still having some limited liability control. So like a corporation, the owners have limited liability, So like in a corporation, you don't really have much control, but with the LLC you do, okay? You have some little bit limited liability, but you can also choose on how you're going to be taxed without having to follow like these really strict corporate guidelines, okay? Um, so, all right, let me give you an example. So, say in your state, okay, if your corporate tax rates are a lot higher than, say, like personal tax rates, if you're an LLC, you can decide how you want to be taxed as, okay? Um, there's also a lot more flexibility in an LLC. Like, so for instance, like, say if the owner of the LLC wants more of a voting interest, instead of like splitting things equally, but like maybe let me use profit sharing as a term, I guess. I'm getting into a little bit of jargon here, but I'm trying to just illustrate a point. But say the profit sharing between the partners and the owners can be structured differently. If like say the owner of the LLC wants more of a voting interest, okay, or I'm kind of rambling here. I'm just trying to give you guys some examples. If the owners want to have their taxes as like a pass-through, kind of more as like a partnership would be, um, you know, and like with a corporation, you'd have to do like an annual requirement for meeting with shareholders, and this is why LLC works so much better, guys. You don't have to deal with like the annual requirement being an LLC. And the fees to start and the rules and regulations on what you can and can't do are going to vary by state, okay? So you want to, again, check with entertainment lawyer, tax professional, what have you. Okay, so at this point we've covered sole proprietorship, we've covered partnership, we've covered corporation, and the LLC, limited liability company. So at this point you're probably asking, like, what's the point of having one of these if we're not making any money doing so? And I'm going to leave you with this, okay? So this is a little bit of an action item I want you guys to take, okay? There's actually a three-step little system, simple little system where I'm already taking advantage of it. It's working out kick-ass right now for my music and marketing business. Now, again, results are not typical in being that, you know, it's a proven process for thousands of people, but the one unpredictable factor is you, okay? So I just want to get out of the way, because there's actually this three-step simple little system, okay? You and I can lock arms. We can get your band, your music business, your traditional business turbocharged, and you can start today with me for just $25. And the link is down below for that. Again, if you want more information first, you're not ready yet, that's fine. You can just sign up on my subscriber list, and that link is down below as well, okay? Either way, I highly recommend, I recommend, if you want to create any positive change with your band, with your music or traditional business, lock arms with me, link below, start for $25, or you could sign up on my email list, okay? Either way, just do something, okay? Take action today. Don't sit on this. Like I said, every day you don't treat your band as a business, every day you're losing money, okay? So once again, Rob Cushing from the Better Claim Music blog here. Hope you found some value out of this video. If you did, please share it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. My contact info, as always, is at the bottom of these bottom of these videos. My email's on there, my phone's on there, my Skype ID, Facebook connection, Twitter connection. Reach out to me, okay? I have an open door policy. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, guys? So, Rob Cushing from Music Blog. I really need that coffee, huh? Rob Cushing from the Better Claim Music Blog here again. All right, take care, guys.